Alright, welcome back. So now we're going to be looking at how we would put in a trigonometric ratio into our calculator. So let's get started. So if we bring up our questions, we've got some trigonometric ratios in degrees, and we've got sine 38 degrees, cos 24 degrees, and tan 63 degrees. Now it wants us to evaluate them to two decimal places. And that means that when we get our answer, we're going to round. Right, first things first, we're going to put them into our calculator. So we bring up our calculator and we're going to put in sine and then 38. Right, and if we hit execute or equals, it will bring up what our value is. So 0.61566147553 would be sine 38 degrees. Now, you need to double check to make sure your calculator is in degrees. Mine is, but you need to double check it. You might be in radians or something. So, the next thing we need to do is we need to round to two decimal places. So if I go to 0.61, that's two decimal places. But we need to go one more over, which is our critical digit. And we need to see if this number is 5 or greater, then we're going to round up by adding 1 to this number over here. If it was 4 or lower, we would leave it as 0.61. So this is equal to 0.62, and you can write to two decimal places. You can also write it's approximately equal to, with these little squiggly equation lines, 0.62. Alright, let's look at B. So for B, we have cos 24 degrees. So hit cos, and then hit 24. And after you've hit that, just hit execute. So cos of 24 degrees is going to be 0.91354576. So we're going to write that out. And we're going to two decimal places. And then our third one here is our critical digit. Now our critical digit is less than 5, which means that this is approximately equal to 0.91. If it's lower than 5, it means we just drop it. We just get rid of it. Alright, tan 63 degrees. So we're just going to hit tan, and then we're going to hit 63, and then we're going to hit execute. And we end up with 1.962. And we want to two decimal places. So we want it here. Looking at our critical digit, it's obvious that that is not greater or equal to 5. So the answer is that it's approximately equal to 1.96. Alright, now we're going to be looking at how we might get to one of the key steps in solving for an unknown variable in our trigonometry for the unknown side. So here we have an equation, and it's an equation that's very simple, similar to the ones you'll set up once you start solving these problems. So we have sine 27 degrees is equal to x over 14. Okay, now first thing you need to realize is that this line here, or this in column, is the same as divide. And when we want to get rid or make sure our pronumeral, our x, is by itself, the first thing we can do to isolate it is to try and get rid of any multiples or any numbers it's being divided by. And the way that we do that is we do the opposite process to both sides. So in this case, if we want to do the opposite to divide, it's going to be multiply. And we're going to multiply both sides of the equation to make sure that it stays the same. And that means we're going to multiply it by 14. If we multiply both sides by 14, then effectively we're dividing by 14 and then multiplying by 14, which means we're just left with the pronumeral. And that means that 14 times sine of 27 degrees will be equal to our x value. So we can solve for our unknown side just by typing that into our calculator. So we would do 14 times sine 27 and then hit execute. And that means that x would be equal to 6.3. And now look across at our third digit. So it's 5. Because the third or critical digit is 5 or greater, we're going to round up 6. Okay? And we might change that to approximately equal to. Alright, if we look at B, we have cos 53 degrees is equal to x over 9. It's the exact same process. All we do to solve these and get the x on their own is multiply both sides by 9. And we're left with 9 times cos of 53 degrees is equal to, and put that in our calculator, 9 times cos of 53, hit execute, and we get 5.4. And because our third digit is a 6, we're going to make it 4 too. Alright, we'll clear these. And let's do C. C is going to be 10 39 degrees is equal to x over 7. And to get rid of that 7, or that divide by 7, we just multiply both sides by 7. And we get 7 times tan of 39 degrees is going to be equal to x. And that means that x is approximately equal to, well, let's type it in. 7 times tan 39, and then hit equals. And we get 5.6. And then we're going to look at our third digit along, which is an 8. And that means we round up, so 5.67. Alright, that's it for this video. Hope it was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.